Chaotically Nerdy is made by nerds for nerds. This podcast is made by adults for adults and children with bad parents. Adult language will be used and adult situations may arise. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Chaotically Nerdy, where we are going to talk about the DC movies. On today's episode, we have a very special guest. I don't know if you want to call him special, but we have a guest.
I would call him special.
Maybe.
And his name is Jamie. Jamie, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who you are, what you do.
My name is Jamie Kraft. I am in college currently to be a teacher, and I
That's terrifying.
pretty much do nothing but read comic books, watch anime, and play video games. So
That's not where I thought that was going.
Fits in pretty well. So I think what we're going to do, this podcast is going to be set up a little bit differently. We're not going to go through every freaking DC movie because there's 1,800, and we're not going to break them all down. What we're going to do is we're going to list them off, and then each of us will pick either one or two of our favorites, and we'll go over those movies. Some of our favorites may overlap, so it'll be easier if they do. So just to list them off, we're going to start with the movies. We started at Batman Begins in 2005. Some of this is, we're not covering all. We're not going back to Adam West. We're not going back to the beginning of time because there's
Turn of the century.
Yeah, way too many. So Batman Begins in 2005, Superman Returns 2006, The Dark Knight in 2008, Watchmen in 2009, Jonah Hex in 2010, Green Lantern in 2011, The Dark Knight Rises in 2012, Man of Steel in 2013, which is the start of the DCEU, Batman vs. Superman in 2016, Suicide Squad in 2016, Wonder Woman in 2017, Justice League in 2017, Aquaman in 2018, Shazam in 2019, Joker in 2019, which is not part of the DCEU, Birds of Prey in 2020, Wonder Woman 1984 in 2020, the Zack Snyder's Justice League in 21, the Suicide Squad in 21, and then the Batman in 2022.
With shovel face.
With shovel face. So,
It's really flat face.
I'm going to roll...
Our pet?
No, yeah, Pat.
Okay.
I'm going to roll a D4. I'm going to be 1, Jarrett's 2, Jamie's 3, Ethan is 4, and that will give us what our favorites are. We'll start with that, and if anybody has a favorite that coincides, we'll just jump in and say, hey, that's my favorite too, so we don't have to cover both.
can we do an honorable
pick a
mention
different one.
if it's like right up there with like one of our
We
favorites?
said one or two.
Yeah, we'll do 2. It doesn't have to be
Okay.
your top favorite.
Okay.
We're going to basically say 2. Jarrett, you're up.
Cool. I'll just start with the newest movie. I really like The Batman. I really like it. It's a slower detective story. It's different. It's way different than any other Batman movie that they've ever had.
Just to clarify, is that one of your favorites,
100%.
Jamie?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. Okay.
Have you seen it?
I have seen it.
I haven't seen one of these movies
It's on
since
HBO Max. Did you watch it on there?
I did. I
Yeah.
watched
Justice
it on HBO
League.
Max. It took me like 3 or 4 days because
It's
I had to
long.
watch it while
It's long
My
as
daughter was
fuck.
asleep.
It's
It was.
Very
2
long
hours and
movie.
4. It's probably a smidge, just a smidge too long. Just a smidge.
it's a
Maybe.
smidge too long. And if I didn't bring it up, I would feel like an asshole. There was a lot of lulls in it because it's a lot of the detective stuff, and that's one of my biggest complaints with a lot of the Marvel movies whenever they're slower paced. So that's what I didn't like about it.
There's one major plot line I think could have not been in the movie, and that's the whole Falcone being Selena Kyle's father.
Yeah.
I think that could have just not been in the movie.
Doesn't
and it
really
would have
add a
been-
whole lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really do much.
Yeah, because he still would have killed. What was her relationship with Annika?
They were friends.
Yeah, he still killed her. She could have still
Well,
wanted revenge.
It doesn't ever.
Spoiler alert.
I'm fine. Don't worry. I'm not going to
I'm
watch
trying to
it.
get him to watch it like 7 times. and
I'm
he's like-
not going to watch it.
He's like, I
Well,
don't
it-
want to watch it.
Listen, here's my thing about it. The other complaint I have is Robert Pattinson as Batman. It's not him. He did a great job. He really did a great job. It's his hair. It's his whole look. It's
Okay.
his whole demeanor.
I don't like.
It doesn't
I don't necessarily
scream.
love his hair.
It
It's
doesn't scream
whatever.
Batman to me.
Well,
I don't know.
His
I don't.
major. Oh,
I don't like Robert Pattinson. The best thing he ever did was die in Harry Potter.
oh God.
Jesus.
It's so okay. Fair enough. I get where you're coming from. Although I will say it was dark, which I liked because that's what a Batman movie is supposed to be. Batman beats the fuck out of some people.
Yeah.
It kind of made me think, like, is there really going to be an end to this? Like, I didn't know if they were going to be able to go on after that. Like, if they wanted to make another movie. I don't know if there's plans in the works to make it. There are plans.
It was confirmed.
Yeah.
It was one of those things with everything flooding and just the fucking river of blood you had.
This is also year 2 Batman.
Yeah, when they released the deleted scene of the Joker being interrogated by Batman was one of my.
It's really good.
It looks so good.
See, didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. It came out, I don't know, in April some point.
Yeah, like a month after the movie came out.
So that's one of yours. Do you got another one?
I do. Going back, Watchmen. It's really good. It's really good.
That's definitely one of mine.
It's just, did Snyder do that too?
Yeah, it was.
Might be my favorite Snyder movie.
It's kind of like where he.
No, he started with.
No, I know
300.
I know he started with 300, but he's really just hitting home on everything he does.
The thing about Watchmen that's one of my favorites of Zack Snyder is that he's very intricate on like everything has to be like everything in his frame has a purpose. It's very comic booky.
Also, he fixed the movie from the comic book.
Yeah.
There was no giant squid destined to destroy the world.
It was the first like real superhero movie that was actually
Dark.
kind of dark and gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't have the Alan Moore weird touches at the end.
All right. So now we're gonna go to. Are you finished with that?
Yeah,
I don't really have any complaints about Watchmen.
It's really good.
It's a great movie.
I think more just age.
Yeah.
But it ages well, honestly.
I mean, it's also, it's been memed. So
Yeah.
therefore it lives in immortality.
I mean, it was meant to be cartoony when it was made, so it
true.
lives up a lot longer.
So now I'm going to switch it over to the D6 die. I'll be 1 and 2. Jamie, you're 3 and 4. Ethan, you are 5 and 6. 3. So Jamie, you're up. What's your 2 favorites? I know you said the Batman. If you want to throw in
The Batman is one of those. Big complaint I do have about the Batman is it doesn't ever actually specify what Selena Kyle's relationship is with Annika. You don't know if they're.
Is that really that big? It's just.
I mean, it also
It makes it kind of like
Minor
you,
plot
you
hole.
wonder why she is so upset.
And
Where they
also,
lovers,
she's like
who
constantly
knows?
calling her like baby, like where's she at? And then you don't know if we're dating. And then when she finds out she's dead, she's just kind of okay, she's dead, cool. And then
I don't think it was okay. She's
no,
dead. Cool.
but-
It's kind of like I'm gonna go kill my fucking dad.
Yeah.
yes, and then also they flip to the whole the Batmobile chase scene, which is probably the best scene in the movie. So
It's pretty good.
it was such a good scene. And then my other one would have to be Zack Snyder's Justice League. My other one would have to be Zack Snyder's Justice League, just because I don't know. I like the way the pacing goes. It's a lot better than Justice League.
Then
So-
Justice League.
Yeah, Joss Whedon's Justice League. It's a lot better. They didn't add all the campy jokes and all the weird 12-year-old humor that he likes to add to stuff.
It was considerably better. It not enough to save.
It didn't fix anything.
No, it fixed it. No, it fixed a
No,
lot.
I
It
watched
fixed
them
quite a
both.
bit.
It didn't fix anything. The movie is still bad.
I didn't think it was bad. I'm trying to think of like how to explain it. I don't think that it was good enough to fix or even save the DCEU, which was, I think, the idea behind putting it out. Not just being like, oh, this is better, you should watch it. It was them trying to get enough behind them to be like, hey, we should be able to do more of these movies, which they're still trying to.
They're still trying.
A major issue.
Not fucking doing well at it, but
A major issue I have with that I have with the DCEU is Warner Brothers as a whole, because like
Yes.
BVS wasn't even supposed to be made. It was never in plans. It was never supposed to be a thing with Zack Snyder. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to touch Batman. He just wanted Superman. Just wanted to focus on that. And then Warner Brothers saw how big Avengers was, and then saw how big Civil War is obviously going to be. So they're like, oh, do this. And then so they did it, and now we're in the place that we're at. So
Yeah, that didn't it come out before Civil War?
like right before Civil War.
Yeah, that release date didn't do it any justice.
no, it's hard whenever you're batting up against Marvel.
it's
Well,
just,
I
you know,
mean, like
could have been any other Marvel movie, but they came up against its contemporary.
They're just-
in
yeah.
Civil War, and they got fucked.
yeah.
once Phase 1 of Marvel came out, and Universal didn't just copy their entire process and throw money at it so that they could make money out of it. it was lost. It was already
Yeah,
worthless.
they rushed it.
Everything
But
was
I
worthless
agree.
after that point.
But at the same time, I can't say I wouldn't watch it because I would love to see that, but I would hate it at the same time.
If they would have focused, if they would have let Zack Snyder just focus on Superman like he wanted to, and then let someone else do Batman, I think it would have been a lot better and a lot more well done than what it was.
Yeah.
No, they needed someone in there with a comprehensive, like,
They need
showrunner
a
type
They need a
thing.
Feige.
Yeah.
yeah.
They don't have a Feige. They have a council of old rich people. They
Yeah,
just decide. who-
that's
Better like-
stupid.
Well, some-
It
Throw it at
apparently
him.
doesn't work. I mean,
Some people think that having Jeff Johns is automatically going to fix things, and it's like Jeff Johns hasn't done anything since he left like DC Comics. Well, not the left DC Comics.
Also,
He's made-
Jeff Johns doesn't know, a whole lot about running a show, really.
No.
He's been like a consulting producer on a bunch of shit.
He's also made some of the most
Some weird.
convoluted comics in the past 20 years.
Yeah. But
Especially with-
he also kind of helped them like get back some momentum, right? In the mid-aughts.
Kindy.
That's the whole reason people like him is because he helped.
kindy.
Kinda is he did the 3 Joker storyline just recently, and that was one of the. He also did Doomsday Clock, which are 2 of the weirdest storylines that have ever been done, in my opinion.
Wait, is Doomsday Clock the one where they bring in Dr. Manhattan?
They bring in like the yeah. They
Is that
bring
where
in-
like they merge like Wildstorm and
yeah, they merged everything together, and it was odd. It was just really odd the way they did it.
what is that Rebirth? Like
Yeah, that was in Rebirth.
Okay.
That was like 2019, same year as 3 Jokers. Because I like the concept of 3 Jokers, but they said, "Hey, we're gonna do this storyline," and then 3 years later they did it with no marketing at all.
Interesting.
follows the DC plan. Like we announce something and then we don't really follow through with it.
That's how long we've been waiting on a Flash movie,
It's got delayed 5 times or something like that. That's a
Yeah.
lot.
And also-
and now it's going to get delayed even more because
Ezra
well,
Miller.
Ezra Miller's
it's
a
not
piece
that
of shit.
It's going to get delayed. It's already been finished filming.
Oh,
There's just probably not going to be a sequel.
Ezra Miller, they're probably going to use a time skip and a time jump with time travel and have
Fuck that.
Ezra Miller recast.
just have him be Wally West. Just cast somebody else. Have him be Wally West. That's like you can fix it.
all right. So now I'm going to roll another D4. We'll move on to the next one, and I'll be 1 and 2. Ethan, you're 3 and 4. 4. You're up.
All right.
I know you said Watchmen was 1.
Yeah, Watchmen was one of them. But I'd like to premise saying that I stopped watching these after Justice League came out. And I watched Zack Snyder's, but no,
Did you watch Joker?
I did not.
I feel like that's one that you would like.
Probably because it's nothing to do with
Yeah, nothing to do with superheroes.
the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably like it. I like Joaquin Phoenix. He's good. He's weird, but he's a good actor. But Watchmen was one of them, and then the rest of it I'm really white bread on. So it's definitely going to be like the Batman series, the Christian Bale.
Yeah,
I mean that just the whole series
they're
is
so
good.
that's The Dark Knight Rises is one of my.
I mean,
favorites.
I have
Tom
problems.
Hardy in it.
I have problems with Bane and the story with it.
I understand that.
But it's still a good movie.
Yep.
And it's still very entertaining. Probably the best one is, of course, the really cliche Dark Knight.
Yeah, I was wondering if anybody was going to actually say it or not.
I mean, it's just good. It's a good movie. It's got really good pacing. It's got suspense, and it's got that Heath Ledger Joker.
Who
That's
is
just.
probably
I mean, it set a
still-
new bar, and it really was something really different. And whether it's cliche or not, it's just a good movie.
He's probably still to this date the best Joker.
That's not really a high bar to jump.
I mean,
it's not. Besides
vocally,
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
But if you go into animated
Yeah, we
series,
can't count. Mark Hamill's been the Joker for like almost
He is
20-something years.
the
or
voice
over
of the
20.
Joker.
Yeah.
But I mean, on screen, live action, most definitely
Ledger.
Heath Ledger.
yeah,
One major problem I have with The Dark Knight, or just mainly the Bale Batman series, is that Batman isn't really the main star of the movies. Because, I mean, anytime anyone talks about him, it's always, Ra's al Ghul, the Joker, or Bane.
Well, I mean, the actors they got to play them were
I mean,
ridiculous
yes,
for-
Yeah.
I
to
just
start out with,
it's
but
just
they were
the
just
way
well written too.
The way,
but also if you think about it, that's how any news thing would work. They're going to talk about the person that's generating the
Yeah.
bigger.
Well, that's how
story.
most DC superhero movies are.
Yeah,
It's not
they're-
about.
Everybody's talking about the villain
Yeah.
because that's the one that's causing
That's
problems.
what DC has over Marvel at all. Is they have some villains that are just ultimately more interesting.
Yeah, I would say that they the DC villains are more interesting.
In a lot of ways. Some of them are.
Some of them are like, how are you a villain?
Yeah. I don't
The
understand
fucking
some of
Riddler.
it.
Although
Polka Dot
the
Man.
new Batman,
So fucking good.
the guy did great.
Paul Dano's fucking amazing.
Oh, it's so good.
Not to circle back on it, but he's really good.
He is
When I was
really
in the
good.
theater, whenever they showed that his name was Edward Nashton, everyone in the theater was like, I thought his name was Nigma, like freaking out because they didn't know like in the comics his name is Edward Nashton or Edward like he uses them interchangeably, which I thought was comical.
But as for the rest of it, I'm not really qualified to really give any sort of ranking. Not only have I not seen half of them, I desperately dislike
Most of them.
most of the ones I've seen, and I cannot say that I in any way have any intention to watching another DC movie.
I mean, I think we could go through and honestly just pick apart every single DC movie if we wanted to just sit there and talk about bad things.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that. I just want to say, like, I just don't like them, so I'm not really qualified to say whether what's good or not out of them.
Fair enough.
I've tried to get him to watch The Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
and he won't. He's like, I can't be burned again.
I don't blame you.
But it's really good.
Jared Leto. That's all I have to say.
No, The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, not Suicide Squad.
I know.
The
He's
second
not
one.
in it though.
I'm not touching the series.
It has almost
He's-
literally.
He's in it for like a
nothing.
quarter second.
Is he?
Yeah.
No,
And they re-show the scene with Harley whenever he pushes.
Oh, maybe they do.
Oh.
Is it him? I don't remember. Who cares?
I'm just not going to waste my time on it.
I don't blame you.
I don't think it's a waste of time.
For me, it is.
I mean, granted, I did watch Birds of Prey yesterday because I was like, I'll give it a shot. Wasn't bad.
It's fine.
Wasn't good. If you don't think of it as a DC movie, it's not a bad movie.
that's what I felt
that's-
about The Hobbit.
If you don't think of it as a Lord of the Rings movie,
It's pretty good.
okay. So now we're gonna move on to me. I've already said Dark Knight Rises is one of my favorite. There are a lot of problems with it, but I love Tom Hardy as Bane. He does an amazing job. The other favorite, I don't know. I'd say either Zack Snyder's Justice League or Man of Steel. I really, really like Man of Steel, but going back, I just like Superman as a character. Like, that's my favorite DC superhero, so it's hard for me not to. And Henry Cavill does a great job. My biggest complaint with it is they take Superman and take his one thing of, I do not kill people. And in that movie, they're just like, you know what? Fuck it. Kill him.
him killing Zod makes sense though.
It makes sense, but that's not what he does. Although I did watch an animated movie where he gave somebody a lobotomy.
Oh, not Fatal 5. Or just Fatal 5, probably.
I think so.
Yeah, it's Superman versus the Elite.
Or the Elite.
Yeah,
that's what
it's something like that.
But I mean,
They're-
he
they're
also
different.
Superman has killed a lot of people in the comics. Like he trapped Zod in a room with gold kryptonite, stole all of his powers. So
Yeah, I feel like Superman rule of not killing is not as quite as like a hard rule as like Batman's is, or like Batman's is of not using guns.
Yeah.
Like it's not as which also this.
In my opinion, like Man of Steel and Henry Cavill not only made Superman and any story is unbearable, it's enjoyable, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
For me, no other Superman has done that.
And it's
So-
fun to see the Kryptonians show up and have to learn everything that Henry Cavill Superman learned throughout his whole life. And they had to learn it in
like a,
hours.
Yeah, like a day.
I'm just glad. Let's not talk about the fact that they did Death of Superman in his second movie.
They did
Well, they
kill him.
half of them. They did half of it. They did half, and then they did the.
It's okay.
Yeah.
How many times has he died in the comics?
It's,
Twice now.
Okay.
Wait, what's
So
I
he's
mean, how
got
many-
another one.
He just died on the 27th on the 30th anniversary.
why?
DC just wanted to kill him. They also had him go against Ultimate Darkseid and Doomsday
What the
and
fuck's-
Spectre.
What's Ultimate Dark Side?
listen, no, we're not
yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
comics because we get into the comics. There's going to be way too much shit. It's all going to hit the fan. We're not doing it. All right.
too much. It's
We're
too
going to go
much.
back to the D4, and now we're going to talk about our least favorite. We can name one or two of the least favorite. Ethan, you have to stick to one or two.
We already know what's gonna be.
All of them.
We're back to the 1, 2, 3, 4.
I just figured he was gonna say the second
3.
one.
Jamie, tell me your least favorite.
Suicide Squad 2016 because there's just I'd rather see the Ayer cut, not what Warner Brothers decided to do. Because Warner Brothers, according to everyone involved, like they cut all of the Joker's time. They cut
I'm not gonna say that's a bad move.
in the night. Okay, in the nightmare sequence of Justice League,
He was fine. Yeah, he was fine in
pretty good.
I didn't mind.
pretty good. But and then they also did what they made Harley like extremely over sexualized compared to what Ayer originally wanted, and then also just everything about it.
It wasn't Ayer's cut not supposed to be funny.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be a comedy movie. It was supposed to be
Then
dark.
they injected a bunch of basically the same thing they did with fucking Justice League.
They just made a bunch of funny
more
shit.
funny. Follow Marvel. More funny.
See, and that's where I have the issue with following Marvel because they didn't pull it off.
Yeah, you can't do that in the editing room.
And
They have to commit
Yeah.
to it like Marvel.
Yeah.
did.
That's true too.
it also is just the whole Enchantress storyline. Just the villain.
It was odd.
It was weird. It didn't give us something to care about.
It seemed like an odd storyline.
Yeah, you're supposed to
Yeah.
care about Flag and her, and you don't.
Like you care about Flag, you just don't care about.
I don't know. Not in that movie. You don't care about.
Yeah,
Flag.
I
You
didn't-
give no
you
shit.
don't care about Flag until.
If I'm going to be
the
honest, I didn't give a
Suicide
shit
Squad.
about anybody in that movie.
Yeah,
That's what makes the Suicide Squad so good.
I cared about the daughter.
Yeah.
His daughter, Will Smith.
Yeah, Will Smith's daughter.
Oh
in it.
yeah, you care about like Will Smith's daughter, but you care more about Idris Elba's daughter than
It's
you
like
do
the only one.
Will Smith.
She was in the movie for like
And
2
second movie.
seconds.
Is that it?
I cared.
Is it daughter? Is it son? Is it son?
Idris Elba has a daughter in the Suicide Squad. And my other least favorite, Justice League.
Okay.
Justice League.
I don't think it's on the list here. I don't think that's.
Well, it's not. Called
I personally
Justice
don't think it's one of the worst. I know he's calling it Justice League because
League. That's what it is.
he's
Justice
being a
League.
bitch.
Or Justice League or Wonder Woman 84.
I can agree with 84. That fucking
Yeah.
movie's
It was just
Bad.
the pacing, just the whole Steve Trevor wishing him back and taking over someone else's life, and then just the way they did Cheetah, and then the way they did Maxwell Lord was just all of it awful.
really.
Fair enough.
Really weird.
Maxwell Lord doesn't have powers. He's just a very charismatic man and rich man.
Okay, so now we're going back to the D6. The D6 of fate. Jarrett,
Okay,
Two
you
least
guys are
favorite.
gonna hang me for this.
I swear to God, I will come across this table and punch you in the face. I don't know what you're saying.
It's not that I hate this movie. I just didn't like it. I didn't get the hype.
It's out of the list. It's your least
yeah,
favorite.
yeah. Well, probably not. No, but I just want to.
One of your least favorites.
One I want to talk about. It's the Joker. I was like, I watched it and I was like, I don't get the hype. It's a weird movie. I'm like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Wasn't for me. Probably technically it's a good movie. I'm just like, I didn't like Joaquin Phoenix is okay in it. I'm like, I'm like, he's Joaquin Phoenix.
It's weird if you think of it as like a Joker origin
Yeah.
movie, which it is.
It didn't feel like it
technically, but it shouldn't be
to me. Yeah, it just
because it's like everything we know about Joker. I mean, yeah, sure, he could be that old,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
I think that's after years of
I mean, I already
dealing
knew-
with Batman and
I
fucking
watched
his
it
life up.
not in theaters. I watched it just at home.
Oh yeah,
And
I did too.
I was like, I already knew it wasn't connected, so I was just like, this is just fucking weird.
Yeah. Any other one?
I mean, I'll just say it. Green Lantern.
You bitch.
I knew. I said
That's
it 'cause
the low hanging fruit.
Listen,
I
you
said it 'cause
want to
he
know
he
the
wanted to
only
say
thing
it.
bad about Green Lantern? The fucking CGI. I love that movie.
I'm surprised you
It's
didn't.
entertaining.
I'm
It
surprised.
is entertaining, but it's bad.
I'm surprised you didn't say Superman Returns over Green Lantern.
Fuck you.
No, I don't. I like Brandon Routh. He's fine. I don't have a problem with him. I just don't like Green Lantern because it wasted Ryan Reynolds.
It did waste. Listen, we can't give I mean, we could give Ryan Reynolds the reign to do whatever the fuck he
Yeah.
wants anytime. It would be a good idea, personally.
I mean, Green Lantern is technically a DCEU movie because Zack Snyder said that's his Green Lantern.
Technically, but they're
If-
gonna
I think-
redo it with the HBO Max show.
I liked it. I just didn't like the CGI. That's my
Boo.
only complaint. You can boo me all you want. I will stand on this pedestal. If it's Ryan Reynolds in a movie, I fucking like it. I don't
Oh,
care.
he's not the problem in the movie. He's the only thing that makes it for being like a fucking zero.
Probably.
The CGI is rough.
Him and
so
I
bad.
think
It's very bad.
it's Michael Clark Duncan that's Kilowog, isn't he?
I think so.
Yeah. it is.
Him and Michael Clark Duncan. I like Kilowog, so
All right. Now we're into D4 territory between me and Ethan. And it's me. I would.
Yay.
Jonah Hex.
Oh, it's
It's bad. I didn't even finish it. I tried to watch it one time and that was it.
I barely remember the plot. All I know is it's Josh Brolin and Megan Fox. I couldn't tell you who the villain is.
Exactly.
the villain is John Malkovich, and he's a Civil War general.
Okay.
Don't care.
That's probably my least favorite on there. The other one, I don't know if I have a second least favorite. because I've never watched Superman Returns. I know, shame on me, but I'm not saying Justice League. I refuse to say it. I would say probably Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Not that I mean, I enjoyed it at the time, but looking back, it was kind of odd. So, Ethan, you're the last one up. Tell me your.
Well, I mean, if we're just gonna talk like boring,
Just say it.
You just say all of them.
Yeah, just say all of them.
all of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, the ones that stand out are of course like Justice League, Batman vs Superman, Green Lantern.
Literally just reading off.
I'll just read off the whole list. I haven't watched any of them, but I'm going to take a wild guess that Wonder Woman 84 is awful.
It's hot garbage.
It is awful.
Suicide Squad is awful, and probably Shazam is pretty.
No.
Shazam is a
good.
lot of fun.
It's very like hot, just barely above middle of the road.
Yeah.
Like
It's
it's good.
It's the one I might give a shot at. It's probably okay.
Zach Levi is like really
He's very
funny.
It's very funny because considering he's playing a 13-year-old.
But just to mention it, like if we're just gonna talk like boring, Superman Returns
It's boring.
is it's too long, and I don't even know how long it is.
It does have one of the
It
coolest.
exists, so it is too long.
It does have one of the coolest Superman scenes though, when he gets shot in the eye and you like watch the bullet like fold and whatnot. That's probably one of the coolest.
okay.
scenes.
That reminds me of slow mo. Watching Birds of Prey, the freaking slow mo in that was unnecessary. There was so much
a lot
of it.
gratuitous.
But-
slow-mo.
Like some of it, I'm fine with. Whenever she's shooting people in the face, like the first shot or two, go for it. After that, I don't need slow mo every fight.
Also, Ewan McGregor as Roman Sionis is.
But for most of I can like suspend disbelief for a lot of things if the story is actually entertaining. So I guess the one that sticks out for me as the worst is Batman vs Superman, because the whole concept is just stupid. It's dumb.
Like I was on board with the concept, but like at the end of the movie, they kill Superman. I walked out there and I was like,
Why would they? I don't.
"Oh, that was a weird choice." I was like,
They
kill Superman in
twisted
the
the
second movie.
whole story
Whatever.
around Batman and Superman really hard. Like gave it a real good purple nurple. Martha.
Martin,
That's one of my least favorite
It's-
fucking lines.
It's so the whole movie is just and the premise
Okay.
and even the comics are just stupid.
So,
Batman vs Superman is nothing.
I mean, it doesn't really make sense because
Superman would just immediately squish him.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be anything, and he would go on forgetting about
we
it.
can argue about who would win this fight all day.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, we wouldn't. It's one answer.
This
I
is
agree
It's
with
like
you. I'm on
Goku
your-
versus a hot dog vendor.
This is very true.
Okay. So I looked up Superman Returns. It is 2 hours and 34 minutes.
That's really long.
That's
especially
really
back
long
then.
for a fucking 2006
2
movie.
hours and 34?
Yes.
I,
And
don't
also,
I think I fell asleep. I didn't think it was that long.
also had an estimated budget of 270 million.
Jesus.
Its gross its worldwide gross was 391 million
it didn't do good.
and 81,000. So it barely
No, it didn't make its money back.
do what?
It didn't make its money back.
It did.
No, because to make your money back in the movie business, you got to make like
Way
2.5 times your budget or
Yeah.
something like that.
Oh.
yeah.
They broke even.
That's the budget for the actual making the movie. There's probably another 150 million in there of marketing.
Yeah.
And then
So they just like barely made their budget back.
yes,
Um,
to both that article and your question.
what? I saw Charlie Cox.
Yeah.
there's so I would, as I just happened to look, there's a Disney Plus announced that there is a new Daredevil series in the works at Disney Plus.
I love on the DC, we go back to Marvel.
That's because we'd rather fucking talk about Marvel. It's better.
Marvel's-
I'm sorry,
Marvel
it's
movies,
better.
I'd rather talk about Marvel.
I didn't care anything about
Animated
Marvel
shows-
before the movies came
Animated
out.
shows and comics, I'd rather talk about DC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
fair enough. So I think that's all the movies, right? We hit everything there.
I would like to sort of apologize for being just a butt about these movies. I will give DC one thing: they are far better and far more interested in doing dark things than Marvel ever has been.
That's true.
And I like
It's
dark
really
stuff.
weird that
Unless
you
they
feel like-
flipped.
unless you watch Doctor Strange. And
I
the
don't.
Multiverse of
I have not
Madness.
seen it, so do not.
It's really weird they flipped though. Like in the 90s, Marvel was the edgy dark one, and then DC was like,
Yeah.
oh, And they flipped when they got to the movies for some reason.
Fuck, they turned into Mickey Mouse.
Yes.
Well, I mean, they did.
Yeah, they were Disney.
Well,
They
I mean,
were-
I get
back
it.
in the 80s and 90s, they did have Superman film a video with
I don't
Big
know why. I
Barda.
thought you were going to
So.
say film a porn.
That's exactly what they did.
Henry
he
Cavill.
said it without saying it.
I did. They had him film one with Big Barda.
So let's move on to the TV shows. Let's do live. Let's split them up: live action and then animated. We'll do animated movies and TV shows together.
Yeah.
Sound good?
That works.
So the live action TV shows.
Also, I did not list, or we don't have the list of everything because there's so many.
Yeah, this is like the
Big hitters.
high points. So we've got Smallville from 2001 to 2011, which me and Jared will argue about because he needs to go fuck himself.
Oh,
Arrow, The Flash, Titans, Krypton, Watchmen, Doom Patrol, and most recently Peacemaker. The reason I say fuck you to Jarrett is as I was watching
Jimmy Olsen dies.
Yeah, I was watching Smallville, and Jarrett says to me one day, "Have you got to the?" He's trying to figure out where I'm at in the show.
Look,
and he
in
says,
my defense, you were really fucking close.
"I was, but I don't think you should lead with someone dying as your question."
Look, I wouldn't have led if I didn't think you were past it.
Because he looked at me dead in the face while we're waiting on class to start, and says, "Have you got to the part where Jimmy Olsen dies yet?" And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
It's fine. They replaced him with his brother, who's the
Oh, I
other
was-
Ashmore twin.
God, I was so mad with that. It's probably my, I don't want to say favorite, but it's one of my favorite TV shows.
Isn't one of them like a cult child molester?
Wait,
mean,
Chloe,
Smallville?
not Chloe.
Yeah.
It's Allison Mack.
Yeah, Allison
is
Mack.
Chloe.
Yeah.
She's in a cult. That is true.
I don't know if they were child molesters. They were like sex. It's like a sex cult thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's.
with children.
I don't know.
It's real
if we-
fucked
I
up.
don't know about the children part, but
Moving on.
Yeah.
moving on. I'm gonna go with Smallville's my favorite one of my favorite ones, because again, love Superman.
Best Lex Luthor ever.
Yes, I will agree with that. And then Peacemaker is my other favorite one. What came out of Peacemaker was not what I expected. I expected to see him run around killing people for no reason.
Yeah, you didn't know John Cena was that fucking good.
No, I knew he was a good actor. I've seen him act
Yeah.
some great
He act
shit.
his little tiny dick off. What?
What you're just pointing at the papers.
Yeah, what
Where's Gotham?
Fair enough.
Get that
Gotham's
shit
not
outta
on
here.
there.
I watched
It's not
that, but
fuck
it's fucking
Gotham.
so weird and dumb. And I like Ben McKenzie. That's just a fucking weird ass show. It
is.
It's weird.
has no concept.
It's not
of-
bad.
It was good for like
No, it's good for like
Two
two seasons,
seasons.
and then the last 3 are like fucking awful.
Utter shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so
He says as he goes, "Where's Gotham?" Get the fuck out of
I have a
here.
reason for that. When it comes to me, I'll explain it, okay?
okay. At this time, we're not even going to roll the dice. Just to keep it faster, we're
Yeah.
going to just go around. So I've named my two. I do really like Titans, though. I think it's very good. I'm on the 3rd season.
Oh boy.
I'm in the middle.
Hey, at
of
least
the-
we're on the same page, Jamie.
I'm in the middle of the 3rd season.
Oh well, okay. You're already past the bad part. What I
Yeah.
consider the bad part, but that's fine.
I don't know what bad. I mean,
I just don't like the 3rd season at all.
okay.
the way
Fair
they
enough.
did Red Hood is just weird.
Yeah, it is.
They
I'll
tried
agree
to
with
cram it
that.
in one season. It's really bad.
Yeah. So Jarrett, let's go to you.
you
I
know-
already know one of yours.
You think you know? What if I'm not gonna say it?
You're gonna say it.
What am I saying?
You're gonna say Arrow.
Yeah, it's there. I just love Stephen Amell. He's fucking.
He is
He's really good.
very good in it.
I mean, he's the man. He started the DC universe on the TV side, took off and dominated CW until this month. And when they decided they're going to cancel every fucking show that's
Yeah,
on CW,
I did just see that. They're canceling a lot.
it's not like necessarily one of my favorites. It was just really interesting, and I wish they would have had more. Because I also agree with you about Peacemaker. Like I really like Peacemaker. I'm not going to talk about it though.
It gave me so much more than what I expected.
But the show I'm going to talk about is Krypton. I was sad it got canceled. I really liked it. It was interesting. They do
You can use your
interesting
words.
things with the Superman universe.
You guys can use your words.
Yeah,
We're
you
on a
don't have to
podcast. You
animate.
don't have to
Yeah,
fucking.
you can
No,
interrupt
no.
me.
No, he's giving you shit because you're going
You're moving the paper.
Oh yeah, my bad.
the entire time. Sorry about that, audience.
Sorry about that.
I'm
Why,
just.
why do you not like Krypton, Jamie?
I don't
You're a Superman purist. This is probably why.
know. I
thought you told me to watch it.
no.
I probably
Not-
did.
I told
Maybe
you
one
not
of-
to watch it.
Okay.
I'm just not a fan of the way it's set up. Just because I don't know. I like the mystery behind Krypton, and I like getting the mystery about like trying to figure out like what is Krypton kind of thing, rather than
what is? It's a fucking planet that blew
Well,
up.
no, it's like there's usually a lot of
I know
mystery.
that.
No, there's usually a lot of mystery about like Krypton in itself that we learn with Superman, but now we're starting to learn more and more and more. Like Jor-El's still alive. Not really a whole fan of all that fun stuff.
That's what I like the idea of the show. I like being on Krypton. Like it's one of my favorite parts of Man of Steel is when we're on Krypton.
Okay, that is true. I
So
do like the
you
Man
give
of
me a
Steel
show that
Krypton.
gives me essentially more of that.
Fair
I was
enough.
like, okay.
So far away from the rest of the DC universe.
All right, Jamie, go ahead and tell us your favorite or two favorites.
It was Titans until recently. Also, it was The Flash until recently. So I'm just gonna have
until
to,
recently.
yeah, well, until
Like season 4, 5.
That's
I'm gonna have to
like
go
3.
with
What? What do you want?
What?
What?
Look at my
How
other
have you
page.
got your papers always fucked up?
mean
We're
that
on
one?
the DC one. It's two sheets.
It probably Peacemaker is the only one that
Okay.
I actually genuinely like.
I agree
and
with
just
that.
and like the whole fuck a fish joke at the very
Yeah,
end.
that
is-
one was.
Oh my
it
god,
was so
I-
good.
I feel like you told me that happened, but I forgot until
Yeah.
the end of it, and I flipped my goddamn
Here's the thing.
shit.
I seen that as a joke on TikTok or whatever. I seen it, and I went, "There's no way that's real. Like somebody made that up." To,
What is it? I have no idea because I didn't watch
Okay,
it.
so the very end of Peacemaker, John Cena saves the day.
Yeah.
The
He's-
Justice League shows up at the end of the series,
and you have
and they like meet.
Jason Momoa, Aquaman,
Ezra Miller.
and
That's
Ezra
the-
Miller.
that's
Those are the two that you see. You
Yeah.
see two others, which is supposed to be Wonder Woman and Superman there, and he walks out and he's carrying this girl and he says, "You're fucking late, you dickheads."
And then he like looks at him like it looks at Aquaman and says, "Don't you have a fish to fuck?"
Yeah,
as he's
that's like
walking
a-
away.
That's been a joke throughout the series. Is Aquaman fucks a fish?
And Ezra Miller like looks at him and goes, "What kind of fish was it?"
And
Jeez.
Momoa's
such
like,
a-
I hate that rumor, and I think Ezra Miller's like, so one of them says it's like that's not true or something. Like they make a joke about it. Like, it's not true? They're like, it's not true. That's not
I think
true?
that's Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
I think he's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Is it not true?"
Yeah, is it not true? But then they're like, he tells Barry to go fuck himself. He's like, go fuck yourself.
But it's a running gag throughout Peacemaker because he constantly just says stupid shit, and they're like, how do you know this? And he's like, fucking Google, fucking look on Google, jeez. So he's just seeing
Cena
shit.
is so fucking good.
He's so good.
That
Like
show.
one of my favorite scenes is like when someone's yelling, it was like Batman doesn't kill people. And it's like Batman's a fucking pussy. He's like yelling at this old man.
Yeah.
That's the first episode, isn't
That's
it?
the
Yeah.
first episode where he goes back
Yeah.
to see his Nazi dad.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
It's a good show. If you want to,
If I was gonna watch any of these, which I haven't, it would be Peacemaker.
it should be.
It should be. It's short. It's 8 episodes.
Because like I've only watched
In and out.
2. Like I watched like almost the first season of Flash, and
you
I
can
watched
stop.
almost the first season of Smallville. The only shows I've watched in their entirety in the DC universe are Gotham
Pity for you.
I'm so sorry.
and Lois and Clark.
Yeah, way back in the day.
And I didn't want to watch Lois and Clark. That may have been the start of my
Did
hate
that
for
have
DC.
Sacagawea in it.
We were barely born.
Sacagawea.
You mean Sacagawea?
Sacagawea. Yeah, however the fuck you want to say it.
It was not good. That's
No.
all I have to say about it. It was not
Do
good.
you know what we're talking about, Jamie?
No, I have never
the
seen
90s
Dean
TV
Cain, you know
show.
Dean Cain?
Yeah, Dean Cain isn't
Yeah.
he like
That's-
Asian or Native American or whatever?
I don't know what he is, but he was Superman in the 90s.
Yeah.
Mhm, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that.
So that was his show when he was with what's her name? She was on Desperate Housewives. That was who Lois Lane was. I
Couldn't
don't,
fucking
I don't know her name, but that's
I mean, I know Lois and Clark. Like, I know the Adventures of Lois and Clark and whatnot. Not Lois and Clark, but is it Lois and Clark or Superman and Lois?
Superman and Lois is the
Well, Superman and Lois is the new one.
Yeah, the new one.
So I
Lois and
think
Clark is the 90s.
Yeah, the Adventures
Yeah.
of Lois and Clark, whatever.
Yeah, it was awful.
I don't even want to move to least favorite because I don't think any of them are like god awful. You don't, which I haven't watched Watchmen
I
or
do,
Doom
yeah.
Patrol or Krypton.
Watchmen's good. It's weird, but it's good.
It's Watchmen. I mean,
Yeah,
Jeremy Irons as Ozymandias is pretty
yeah,
good.
he's fucking he's amazing.
so I don't want to like down any of those. Since that didn't take us very long, that only took us like 10 minutes to crank through that. We'll just go ahead and do animated shows and the movies separate.
Okay.
So do we want to start with movies or shows?
Shows.
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 We just did shows, so we should do
Just
shows.
go
Yeah,
animated.
let's go shows.
Okay. So the animated shows, you got Batman the Animated Series, the new Batman Adventures, Batman Beyond, Justice League, Teen Titans, Justice League Unlimited, Young Justice, Green Lantern the Animated Series. Didn't even know there was a Green Lantern animated series. Teen Titans Go and Harley Quinn.
Also not mentioned because Jamie will get upset is Superman the animated series. I just kind of rolled that in. It's kind of all together with
We'll go back to the D4
Yeah.
because I thought it was gonna make us take too long, but not really. One. So we get to start with me. Favorite. The two favorites I have are. Oh God, that's gonna be hard. Now I'm looking at it and I don't know. Young Justice is one of them.
Yes.
I love that whole storyline. I like watching the sidekicks grow into their own, so to say. And in that same light, I'm torn between Teen Titans and Batman Beyond. I remember watching Batman Beyond as a kid, and I loved it. Like, just absolutely loved it. Teen Titans is Teen Titans. It's also one of those that, as I got a little bit older, I was watching it as a kid and absolutely loved it. Although I will say Young Justice is the highest one up there, which is still ongoing, and I forgot that they had restarted it, so I have to start rewatching it, which is terrible of me to say because
I really like this new season. It's
for
really good.
it to have been one of my favorites, it's kind of
Look, it
interesting.
got canceled. That's not its fault.
Yeah. But you think if it's one of my favorites, I'd keep up with it enough to know.
It's on a drip feed, so it kind of makes almost more sense to watch it in
Gotcha.
a big chunk.
I'm just going to jump into my least favorites too while I'm here. Teen Titans Go.
Yep.
I didn't like the animation. Didn't
Totally
care.
agree.
There are select scenes that are kind of funny.
Especially when Robin, they go back in time and Robin takes Bruce's parents and throws them into a alleyway.
Yeah.
And then makes Bruce watch.
Yeah, but I'm not going to watch a whole show.
No.
I'm not going to watch a show that ran from
It's still
2013
dope.
until now for 6
No.
moments. No thanks. I don't really have any other that I would point out and say that was super bad because
I don't have them all listed here, but there's not really that many bad like animated shows that they've ever made. Really,
because DC does an amazing
Most of them
job
are pretty
with
solid.
TV shows, with animated TV shows, anything animated.
It's
Honestly.
another thing DC has over Marvel is their TV shows, live action or animated. They're generally
better.
not bad.
I
up
would
until
say
recently, live action was definitely in DC's camp, but now it's kind of moved back.
up
to
until Marvel has started doing,
animated though, it's not even close.
Yeah,
For most of the time.
Yes, for
since
most
like
of this.
2000.
Yeah,
Some of the past couple pacings of the Disney Plus shows have been odd, but it is what it is.
All right, now we're gonna go back to the D6 of Fate. Ethan,
Well, I've watched a little of all of these.
Yeah.
Not a lot. But I'm gonna have to go with Teen Titans as well. It's my favorite. I don't know. It's a nice mid 2000s animated show. It's like all the others from that time period. It's
And it's,
actually pretty
again,
pleasant. It's nice.
it's something
fun to
about
watch.
something about seeing the sidekicks
Yeah.
be in the lead.
Yeah.
That is nice instead of having to see all the superheroes.
But be careful what you Google. There's some weird images out there.
Yeah.
All right, and then I would say my second one is definitely a split. So it's either Batman the Animated Series or Batman and Beyond. Batman Beyond, sorry. But no, it's just they do a really good job. The voice actors are great. The animation is not great, but I mean it's cartoony. It's what you want out of a superhero thing. It feels like you're watching a comic move. It's nice.
You got a least favorite on that list?
Teen Titans Go. It's the same thing.
I
mean,
feel like
it's
that's going to
just-
be the same for all of us, probably.
It's just money grab, it feels like, and poorly
Yeah.
written. It's like the later episodes of SpongeBob. It's cringy and awful.
All right, back to the D6 of Fate. Jamie, you're up.
Favorites? Batman the Animated Series, and actually it's split between Batman the Animated Series and the Batman from 2003,
Oh, yeah, that's not on there either. But
and also Superman the Animated Series. Those are probably my two favorites because, like you said, they're very much like it's like a comic book moving across the screen. And then least favorite, Teen Titans Go.
yeah,
Obviously,
spoiler alert, that's gonna be everybody's least favorite because it's really the only questionable animated series I can think of they've ever put out. Really,
Yeah.
and also the fact that they left Teen Titans the original off on a cliffhanger,
Yeah.
and then started this in favor of the original Teen Titans.
I wasn't in favor. That was like how many years? 7 years in between that.
Yeah.
They just sell it, and they're also like Teen Titans Go is like almost like no. It's not even like the same continuity of like really. It's like it's just its own wacky universe.
Jared,
Mine-
you're up.
It's Young Justice. It's just like head and shoulders. It's my favorite thing DC ever done. I hold it even above like the DC AU, like the Batman, Justice League Unlimited, that whole run. the world building in it is amazing.
Also, the animation is like perfect.
Oh, it's so
Oh yeah, it's really good.
And the one
Voice
major,
actors are great. Like
Yeah.
everything about that show is. I would highly recommend it if you haven't watched it.
one major complaint I do see though is that they will have characters and expect you to know exactly who these characters are at all times. Like Jason Todd came in for like an episode and then was dead, and they're like, "Oh, you don't know who Jason Todd is? Okay, cool."
That's
I mean,
fine.
no, technically, never been there. He's never been in it, not named.
True.
Also, I don't care about that. I'm fine. Like for me, I'm fine with that. I don't care to. I don't need a backstory on every
Yes,
single
basically.
character.
Right. Or
basically,
place or thing.
Basically, for every episode of Young Justice, if there's a named character in there, they are a comic book character. And
yeah.
they
It's like
exist in
from
some-
Star Wars. That's why 4 is so great. It's because it doesn't explain anything.
Yeah, you don't know jack shit.
Yeah.
They're
that
like,
type
you
of like
fought- I mean,
lack of
now we're back.
exposition
Yeah.
can be, it can pull you in.
They said, "Oh my God, you fought in the Clone Wars," and then everybody's like, "What the fuck's the Clone Wars?" Which obviously everybody's not because a lot of them knew about it.
I was so disappointed that Young Justice got canceled. I mean, you know,
I think we both were.
it was so. You can't end on that note. If they cut that last scene out and just end before that, it's fine. They left that last note, and I'm like, you
Yeah.
motherfuckers.
Have any of you watched Harley Quinn though?
I have. It's good.
Is it? I've heard it's good. I just haven't watched it.
Not a lot, a little bit.
Is it Ron Funches who's King Shark? Is that who it is?
I don't remember.
He's really good. Whoever King, I think it's Ron Funches.
I will still say one of my favorite scenes is when the Joker is finds out who Batman is, and he's at like freaking out at Batman, asking where the fuck his car is because he pre-ordered an electric car that
Oh,
Wayne
yeah,
Tech was
it-
making.
Where's my car, Bruce?
It's the same scene that he's also mad because they pull like he unmask him and he's like, "I didn't want to know. That ruins the fun."
It's really good.
And then he's like, "Where's my car? Bro?
Where's my fucking car, Bruce?
Where's my goddamn?"
It may be like I really like Kite Man in that show. He's really fucking. He's so dumb, but he's got like that wholesome. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Good for you, buddy.
Good for you, buddy.
I want
I'm
you.
proud of you. All right, so let's cut it back to the animated movies, which I will say these are fucking great. Like just looking
Well,
at the list,
Here's the thing.
A lot of-
I put on the good ones.
yeah,
There are some really not good ones.
gotcha.
I left one really, and probably mine, Jamie's opinion, not good one on there.
Well, we'll get to it. Let's go ahead and list them. So we've got Batman Under the Red Hood. We've got All Star Superman, Justice League Doom, The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and Part 2, The Justice League The Flashpoint Paradox, Justice League War, Batman The Killing Joke, Justice League Dark, Teen Titans The Judas Contract, The Death of Superman, Reign of the Supermen, Batman Hush, and Justice League Apocalypse War.
I haven't put any of the new ones on here because I haven't. The newest ones I haven't seen them.
There's the newest one they did is awful.
What's
Injustice.
No, that's not. I think that that is, but I'm talking about the new universe they had after
Oh
Apocalypse
yeah,
War.
yeah.
The
All right.
Injustice one is just based on the Injustice.
It's also bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll this and we'll go back to. Fuck, it's me again. Son of a bitch. D4s. Hate them.
25% chance.
It's true. So, probably my two favorites Flashpoint Paradox and Under the Red Hood. Jensen Ackles in Under the Red Hood does a great job as Jason Todd. And it's just his voice acting kind of, I didn't expect it out of him.
You want some good news?
He's,
The new Batman in the animated universe, isn't he?
yeah, he is
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
He's going to play the new Batman. I forgot about
He was
that.
Batman in both Long Halloweens.
Yeah. And then the Flashpoint's just such a good story overall, I think. I like Flashpoint in any realm of it. Like when
Well-
the Flash did it,
It's okay. We'll see how this third attempt is going to go. I have low expectations.
and then I don't really have a least favorite on here. Because I haven't watched some of them. I haven't watched The Death of Superman or The Judas Contract. There's
Not being a Superman fan, I can't really speak on it. I thought they did a good job of them.
It
That was
did.
both the movie.
I mean, it did it really well. It did made it good for like movie viewing. I mean, one of my favorite parts about Under the Red Hood is the fact that like it's scene for scene, the whole confrontation between Jason, the Joker, and Batman is like panel for panel, like word for word from the comics, and it's awesome.
That's good. All right, now we're back to the D6 of Fate. Ethan, you're up.
No comment.
You haven't
I haven't
seen
seen
them.
any of
I
these.
kinda-
My favorite DC animated movie is the one where Iron Man trains like Thor's daughter.
What?
because it's Marvel.
Okay.
I was like, where's it going with this?
I
Because
was
that's
very
not making a
confused.
lot of sense.
Very-
I haven't seen any of these. What am I supposed to do?
Fair
I'm like,
What
fair
about the what's the Batman Beyond one? Return of Joker. I didn't have it on here.
It's
but
like Mask of the Phantasm.
no Mask of
Oh
Phantasm.
yeah,
the Batman
that-
Beyond.
Yeah,
one.
I have seen that.
it is Return of the Joker. Then yeah,
Return of Joker. I have seen that one.
It's pretty solid.
It's my favorite one because
There you
it's the only one I've seen.
There you go.
And-
By default.
Jarrett, you're up.
Cool. I really like Justice League Do because it lets Batman show how fucking ginormous his brain is.
Yeah.
He takes down the entire Justice League. Well, his plans do. He doesn't. But
What he put into motion.
yeah, he has the plans to take down every member of the Justice League. And it's
Here's the
fucking
issue that I
awesome.
have with that, and this is the Batman versus everybody else. He has the plans there. Most of them are superpowered
Yeah.
superpowered people. If he doesn't enact the plans before they get to him, it's over. That's my biggest
I
complaint.
believe
with
the idea always is that he's so intelligent, he will see that they're turning against the light or whatever. You know, they're evil.
But I also think
beforehand.
that they know he's that smart.
Yeah, but they're
I would hope that the
His-
Superman and Wonder Woman, if they decided to be evil, would take him out first.
his whole thing is that he doesn't trust them
Yeah, he
in
doesn't trust
any capacity, so he knows that he's always got his eye on them.
He's got to have a fucking bullet in the chamber at all times, or else he feels naked.
I have problems with anything with Batman versus any superpowered person. Serious problems.
The only time I've ever seen it actually well done was The Dark Knight Returns.
I have one thing. Laser eyes. It's done.
Yeah.
Done. Laser eyes. It's like pitting the Hulk versus Hawkeye.
Yeah.
I mean, they did that already, and Hawkeye killed him, kind of.
In the comics,
No, yeah,
in what movie? It's the comics.
yeah, good point.
Yeah, they do that type of stupid stuff all the time. It doesn't make any sense.
All right. Either way, did you say your least favorite?
Least favorite?
Yeah.
The Killing Joke.
Yeah. I liked it overall, but it
Unless
wasn't.
it's not the one I'm thinking of.
No, it's the one you're thinking of.
What do you?
Like he's in
thinking
an
of for
amusement
it?
park.
Right? Is that not the one where Batgirl and Batman fuck?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Is it? Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. That's the one where they fuck, and then he shoots Joker
I
shoots
specifically
Barbara.
remember telling you you did
and
not like that movie
it
because
fucking,
of that.
It fucking
I
ends
guess
with
You blocked that out, didn't you?
Yeah.
it
yeah.
ends with Batman telling Joker a joke, and they laugh and basically
It's really fucking
fuck
bad.
off together.
Well, I mean, it's either he kills Joker or they fuck off. One of the two.
Fucking kill him. I don't care. Jamie, you're up.
My favorite would probably be one of my favorites would be All Star Superman. I just really like the way it's done. You know, Superman has cancer from all the solar radiation, so he's just kind of trying to beat the clock and save everyone and do much good as he can and make sure everyone in his life is well off before he basically turns into a ball of sun.
Superman, not as super as we thought because he died of skin cancer.
He doesn't die in that movie, though.
He does. He turns into like a statue.
Does he?
Yeah. Well, either that or he flies into the sun. One of the two. But he basically
those-
just turns into a ball of radiation. Like
It's
he's
just a big mesothelioma commercial.
and then either Judas Contract or the Death of Superman. And then least favorite is split between Now That I Remember, The Killing Joke, or Hush. I blocked that out of my
Hush
head.
is also bad because they just ruined Hush.
They made him the Riddler. It was
Yeah,
just,
made
it
his
was
Riddler.
rough.
It was fucking stupid.
Ah, gotcha.
Instead
Riddler,
of-
I feel like is one of those that's hard to pull off.
Well, it's not because he is the character Riddler is fine. Hush is a different character in the comics, and they just decide we don't want to introduce that whole backstory. We're just going to make him the Riddler. It's fine,
Gotcha.
and it's not fine. It's awful.
All right, I think that is it. So we're going to wrap this one up. We want to thank you for listening to another episode of Chaotically Nerdy. And you can find links to our Facebook page, our Discord, on anchor.fm/chaotically nerdy. We also want to give a shout out to Ashley on our Discord, who has done a ton of work for us and has made it look pretty. You go in, you select your roles, and that lets you see different areas. If you don't want to see us talk about movies and TV, you don't have to select that role. You can choose whichever one you want.
She's the best.
Yeah, she really is.
Yeah,
She's done a lot of work for us, and it's very appreciated. Hopefully, we can have her on one day. So, thank you guys for listening again, and we'll see you on the next one.